John, I want a divorce.
Divorce.
At the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I like turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
All right, you're great zombie.
Hey, I didn't dog the shot.
According to reports tonight from London, Queen Elizabeth is expected to announce the action herself in a speech before Parliament next Tuesday. There's little likelihood she'll say anything about a big mystery surrounding one of her most famous subjects, Beatle Paul McCartney.
Last year, we had a big thing about Paul McCartney being dead.
Yeah.
And I was wondering how much of it was planned and how much was planned by you.
It had nothing to do with me. There is a rumor that he is dead, actually, but the first I heard about it was in the press, you know, or from those. I don't know how it happened.
When was the last time you saw your brother?
The last time?
Yes.
It was his funeral, I think.
What about the rumor that was going around one time that you had died and there was a double standing in for you?
It's not true.
No, obviously not.
I can categorically state that right now, Tom. I'm almost alive.
A rumor that he is dead has been stoutly denied by several people, including Paul. There was even one report that McCartney was killed 3 years ago in an auto accident and a double put in his place.
Oh, really? When was the last time?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, I mean, before I came, you know.
Oh, well, that was, what, fairly recently, then?
It's a mystery to Paul. It was a mystery to me. None of us knew what it was about or whatever.
Did you laugh about it? Did you was it fun for you or crazy time?
Yeah, it was actually, because the man from our office rang up and he said, it's on the press that you're dead. I said, well...
Typical of the press, isn't it?
What a super wake-up call.
You think that rumours come? Why do they come about? Because Paul McCartney's dead, of course.
Well, what is the most unusual legend or rumor you've heard about yourself?
Hello.
No, I'm not actually dead, no. No, I'm not actually dead, no. Not actually. Just a good replica.
Paul had died some while back. He had a jolly good impersonator working for him because I began to believe it myself. It was obvious that he's died and the boys are covering it up.
It was too far out for us to have thought of it, you know. And it wasn't a very, I don't know, it was a peculiar thing. I don't know what it was about.
And he said, what do you want to do about it? I said, there's not a lot I can do about it, actually. Rumours of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
You know, they sort of say the story and then they say, brother of former Beatle Paul, in all the articles. I was thinking of jigging it to say former brother of Beatle Paul.
Do you and Paul speak?
We have spoken. I spoke to him about an hour or so on the phone about 3 weeks ago. That was the last time I spoke. But I hugged George 2 days ago, and I sent a postcard to Ringo last week.
No more fan mail.
For a report on how it all got started, here is ABC's Gregory Jackson.
As any parent can testify, the lifestyle of the Beatles has always been somewhat different. And if you believe current rumor, their style of revealing Paul McCartney's alleged death is being carried out with singular taste. Like reading tea leaves, all clues are in the album.
John, let's go back to talking about the music of the early days, and if you'll permit me to go and address ourselves back to this Paul McCartney rumor and death, if you will. As a matter of fact, let's talk all about the symbolism that's going down in these albums and address ourselves also to the possibility of death and what you recognize in these albums.
Well, I tell you, I'm not aware of any of them, you see. I only read about them this morning in the paper.
For example, in this one, McCartney's guitar, covered with flowers, is resting on a grave. Inside the cover, McCartney's supposed look-alike is wearing an armband with the letters OPD, which in England means officially pronounced dead.
You've got a little backwards bit, and it was like a little Beatle clue, you know.
on the flip side of the record jacket, Paul is the only one standing with his back to the camera. On another album, the Beatles sleuths noticed that McCartney's double is sitting above a sign which reads, "I was you."
Now, all our messages were subliminal, you know. Meaning we were sending messages out, all right.
We put in, which John even gave it his blessing.
What about the line on the Sgt. Pepper, I Will Bury You?
On Sgt. Pepper, the same as the obscenity that was meant to be on a loop at the end of Sgt. Pepper didn't exist.
John, I find it hard to believe that some people are supporting this rumor that's going around here that if you play some of your records backwards, there are some messages to it.
And it was like a little Beatle clue, you know.
And people can hear these. What do you have to say about the backward movement of these records?
Sure, if you play anything backwards, you're going to get a different connotation, because it's backwards. I've no idea what Beatle records sound like backwards. I never play them backwards.
And it was like a little Beatle clue, you know. We put in
subliminal, you know. Meaning we were sending messages out, all right. Now, all our messages were subliminal, you know. Meaning we were sending messages out, all right. Now, all our messages were subliminal.
And in another picture, 3 of the Beatles wear a red rose, while McCartney wears a black rose. And on their latest album, we see the 4 Beatles walking away from a cemetery, one dressed as a gravedigger, the others in mourning, and Paul wearing black and barefooted as corpses are prepared in Italy.
Meaning we were sending messages out, all right. Now, all our messages were subliminal.
Beatle clue, you know. John even gave it his blessing.
John, I understand the cover for Cold Turkey is, we might consider that to be symbolic if we get into it.
This is the advert we're using. Now, it's 2 skulls, which is, what are they called? X-rays that were taken of us in hospital after we had a car crash.
And it was like a little Beatle clue, you know. John even gave it his blessing.
I don't see the connection. He'll say that this is a sign of death and that Paul is gone, or John and Yoko are dead, you know.
In other words, you're saying there really is no death wish or any death moment in all these Beatle records.
The connection besides some of these things Paul's dead.
Could some of these things have been like a death rumor to Paul's death back there in 1966?
Well, how did we take the photograph for Abbey Road with me with a beard and looking as I do today, and Paul looking as he does today, walking across the road, when he'd been dead since Pepper? What did we do? Stuff him and shave him? You know, or what? How could we do it? I don't understand what it's about at all, you know. Paul isn't dead.
That's only a sampling. Other clues are said to be found by playing the records at different speeds or even backwards, and there is a degree of truth to it. For example, in the song I Am a Walrus, we played it here on this record and taped the play, and then ran the tape backwards. And if you listen closely, you can hear someone saying over and over, Paul is dead.
John even gave it his blessing. Because if you listen to the end of it, you've got a little backwards bit that we put in, which was actually a little phrase when you turn it round, and it was like a little Beatle clue, you know.
In London, Paul McCartney has been vehemently denying his death. Here in New York, the city's largest record store said today that the Beatles' latest album cost about $2 more than the past albums. And he said they haven't been selling very well, at least up to now, before the rumors started.
And I don't...
What about the Abbey Road thing, John, where the bare feet of Paul McCartney sort of would indicate death to some?
That's the first time I've ever heard of it, you know. I mean, so what? I mean, Paul walked barefoot across the road because Paul's idea of being different is to look almost straight.
And so it was so hot that I kicked him off and walked across barefooted. So this started some rumor that because he was barefooted, he's dead.
It's the most stupid rumor I've ever heard. We all were a bit like that. We used to go on stage with just, say, one polythene bag on one foot, and nobody might notice it, just us would be laughing. So for Paul, he decided to be barefoot that day, walking across the road. But when he first glanced at the album, it looked like the four Beatles or whoever walking across fully dressed. But he just, that's his little gimmick, that's all. Yeah, I didn't even notice till I got the album. I didn't notice on the day he was barefoot. We were just wishing the photographer would hurry up, and it's getting too many people are hanging around trying to spoil the shot, and let's get out of here. We're meant to be recording, not posing for Beatle pictures, you know. That's all we were thinking. So.
In essence, John, what you're saying about the Beatle greatness, and it is great.
Thank you.
In essence, because of this greatness, John, that the Beatles themselves have become the essence of this great rumor.
Yeah, it's just all that mysticism, like James Dean is still alive in a chair somewhere, and that Bob Dylan had died. I mean, but you can understand the Dylan rumour a bit more, because he had that big crash and nobody knew where he was, you know. But it's all that intellectualised, you know, looking for hidden meanings. You know, it's just gone crazy.
People just take our music and, you know, in a line, and we just sort of say, yeah, she was just 17. And they read everything into that.
Which was actually a little phrase when you turn it round, and it was like a little Beatle club.
She was a 17-year-old nymphomaniac working on the streets of Broadway. But, you know, what we meant is she's just 17. But it might mean all the other as well, I don't know. We're the last people to know about our songs, because the pop world's never heard the pop world as such. Because we can't, you know, it's like if you look at a snapshot of yourself, you're looking at what tie you were wearing, or whether you were looking nice in the snapshot. You know, but anyone else would just take the snapshot and say, oh, that's good, that's a snapshot of Tony, you know. We really just always think of ourselves as just happy little songwriters. Just little rockers, you know, just playing in a rock group.
Can't touch this.
But it gets more important than that after you've been over to America and you've sort of got knighted. And when we were touring, and when it was at a sort of peak of hysteria, instead of just thinking, oh, that's nice, I mean, we could have just thought, aha, click, you know, let's use this, and for evil, you know. But there's no desire in any of our heads to sort of take over the world, you know. That was Hitler, that's what he wanted to do. There is, however, a desire to get power in order to use it for good. If you've got power, you've got to use it for the good. For the good. Click.